Eddie Hearn backs Henry Pollock to transform rugby as he calls out sport's biggest problem. Prominent boxing promoter Eddie Hearn believes rugby is on the brink of a major breakthrough, but insists the sport is holding itself back with outdated thinking around promotion and player visibility. Hearn, best known for building global boxing stars, has made his first move into rugby by signing rising England talent Henry Pollock to his Matchroom sport agency. The move signals his confidence not only in Pollock as an individual brand, but also in rugby's untapped commercial potential. However, despite the excitement surrounding the partnership, Hearn has been clear about one thing: he is not stepping in to fix rugby as a whole. "That's not my job." Speaking candidly on the Big Jim show alongside former Scotland international Jim Hamilton, Hearn dismissed the idea that he should be responsible for promoting the sport itself. Instead, he placed the responsibility squarely on rugby's governing bodies. His comments came after being asked whether he would introduce boxing-style hype, press conferences, rivalries, and heated exchanges to elevate Pollock's profile. Hearn's response was blunt: that role belongs to organizations like England National Rugby Union Team and their counterparts globally, not external promoters. He emphasized that rugby authorities need to take ownership of storytelling, rivalries, and media engagement if they want to grow the sports audience. Learning from other sports. Drawing on his experience in boxing, darts, and snooker, Hearn highlighted how other sports have successfully leveraged controversy and personality to drive engagement. He pointed to a recent moment involving snooker legend Ronnie O'Sullivan, where a heated exchange between players generated widespread media attention. Rather than shying away from the tension, Hearn argued that such moments should be embraced and amplified. In his view, sports thrive on narratives, rivalries, personalities, and emotional stakes. When handled correctly, even minor disputes can be transformed into major promotional opportunities. However, he believes rugby, and to some extent snooker, often takes the opposite approach, attempting to suppress controversy rather than capitalize on it. For Hearn, this is a missed opportunity. A sport full of untapped potential. Despite his criticism, Hearn remains optimistic about rugby's future. He sees a landscape filled with opportunity, particularly as new investors and commercial partners begin to show interest. He referenced growing involvement from major brands and investment groups, suggesting that rugby is entering a phase where it could evolve into a more commercially dynamic sport. The key, he argues, lies in perception. If rugby can position itself as exciting, accessible, and personality-driven, it could attract a broader audience and significantly increase its commercial value. At the heart of this vision is Henry Pollock. Why Henry Pollock stands out. Hearn's decision to sign Pollock was not. He sees the young England international as a rare figure capable of transcending the sport. Pollock's appeal, according to Hearn, extends beyond traditional rugby audiences. His social media presence, confidence, and individuality make him highly marketable, qualities that are often underutilized in rugby. Hearn shared a telling anecdote: his teenage daughter, who has little interest in rugby, already recognizes Pollock. This kind of recognition is exactly what rugby needs, he argues, players who can break into mainstream culture and attract new fans. Pollock's persona, including his expressive celebrations and bold attitude, has helped him build a strong organic following. For Hearn, this is a foundation that can be amplified through strategic promotion. Don't clip his wings. One of Hearn's strongest criticisms of rugby culture is its tendency to suppress individuality. He believes players like Pollock are often encouraged to tone down their personalities in the name of humility or tradition. Hearn rejects this approach entirely. In his view, confidence and charisma are assets, not liabilities. He argues that allowing players to express themselves authentically is essential for building stars and growing the sport. Don't clip his wings. Let him fly, is the philosophy he applies to Pollock, and one he believes rugby should adopt more broadly. The power of perception. Central to Hearn's strategy is the concept of perception. In boxing, he explains, the narrative surrounding a fight, its significance, the rivalry, the personalities involved, often determines its success as much as the action itself. He believes the same principle applies to rugby. By elevating Pollock's profile through media appearances, storytelling, and strategic promotion, Hearn aims to create a sense of excitement that extends beyond the pitch. Even the announcement of their partnership has already generated increased attention, demonstrating how quickly perception can shift. According to Hearn, this kind of momentum can have a ripple effect, benefiting not just the player but the entire sport. Commercial impact beyond the field. Hearn is convinced that players like Pollock can drive tangible commercial benefits, from ticket sales to merchandise and sponsorship deals. A strong personal brand can significantly boost a team's and a league's revenue. He believes Pollock is already contributing to increased interest in matches involving both his club and country. In time, Hearn expects this influence to grow, attracting new sponsors and investment into rugby. However, he also notes that Pollock himself may not yet fully grasp the extent of his impact. This, Hearn suggests, is where experienced promoters and agencies can play a crucial role, helping athletes understand and maximize their value. Lessons from boxing. Hearn draws parallels between Pollock's journey and that of boxing superstar Anthony Joshua, whom he helped transform into a global icon. Joshua's rise was fueled not only by his performances but also by careful brand building, media engagement, and narrative creation. However, Hearn also acknowledges the challenges that come with fame. Public perception can shift quickly, and success often brings increased scrutiny and criticism. He warns that Pollock will likely face similar challenges as his profile grows, but views this as an inevitable part of becoming a star. Rugby's accessibility problem. Beyond marketing and personality, Hearn identifies another major issue: accessibility. He argues that rugby, like football, often limits player interaction with the media and fans. In contrast, Hearn emphasizes openness in boxing, where fighters regularly engage in extensive media commitments. He personally conducts dozens of interviews after major events, ensuring maximum exposure for both the athletes and the sport. In rugby, he believes such accessibility is lacking. This reluctance to engage widely with media outlets restricts the sport's reach and limits opportunities to build player profiles. Football's shared struggle. Hearn notes that rugby is not alone in this regard. He points to Premier League football as another example of a sport struggling with accessibility. Despite its global popularity, football often restricts player appearances and media interactions, which can hinder storytelling and fan engagement. For Hearn, the lesson is clear: even the biggest sports can improve by becoming more open and accessible. A new approach with Pollock. Hearn's strategy for Pollock involves a significant increase in visibility. Over the coming weeks, he plans to place the player across a wide range of platforms, from mainstream television shows to digital content across different sports. The goal is simple: make Pollock a recognizable figure beyond rugby. He referenced Pollock's recent appearance at Camp Nou, home of FC Barcelona, as an example of the kind of cross-sport exposure that can elevate a player's profile. Moments like these, Hearn argues, are powerful because they reshape how audiences perceive rugby players. Creating more stars. While Pollock is currently the focus, Hearn believes rugby has many players with similar potential. The challenge lies in identifying and nurturing those personalities. He suggests that clubs, unions, and agencies should take a more proactive role in promoting players, helping them develop their personal brands and engage with wider audiences. If rugby can produce multiple figures with Pollock's appeal, Hearn believes the sport could experience significant growth. The bigger picture. Ultimately, Hearn's message is both a critique and a call to action. He sees rugby as a sport rich in talent, tradition, and excitement, but held back by conservative attitudes and missed opportunities. For now, Hearn's focus remains on Henry Pollock, but if his approach proves successful, it could serve as a blueprint for the sport as a whole. Final thoughts. Eddie Hearn's entry into rugby may be limited in scope, but his impact could be far-reaching. Through his work with Henry Pollock, he is challenging long-held assumptions about how rugby should present itself to the world. Whether the sport chooses to follow his lead remains to be seen.